Jack Frost roasting on an open fire.
You know what? That's crazy because I just watched
Nippling
the
at your nose.
Nippling. That's crazy because literally last night I just watched the Santa Claus 3: The Escape Clause featuring Martin Short as Jack Frost.
That
Jack
one's
Frost.
slept on.
Which was, you know what? This is actually perfect because did you remember, did you know that he does that whole like New York, North Pole, like 4-minute number? It was very Showman.
Very Showman.
It was very Showman.
That was my introduction to that song. I thought that New York was a parody of that song.
That is crazy.
I was a kid. I was a child.
What? The plump.
You heard, it's up to you. And you're like, oh my gosh, that's just like in Santa Claus 3.
Pole. North Pole. He goes something like, at Polar North. It's sickening, honestly. The lyrics were good. I was thinking
No,
about this. I was
Martin-
like, do you think
Martin
that
popped
they just added that in once they cast him? I feel like that
Probably.
definitely couldn't have been in the original script.
Probably.
It adds
I
nothing
hope
to
so.
Marty.
For Martin's sake.
Mhm.
Guys, Merry Christmas and Happy
Merry
Holidays.
Christmas.
How are we all doing? Welcome back. This is part 2 of the highly requested, highly anticipated, this is part 2 of the Greatest Showman series. How are we feeling today? Day after Christmas.
Well,
I'm feeling pretty good. I'm back in Colorado and it's been so warm here, I know. To talk about the weather, it was actually
Classic.
70 degrees yesterday. We were sitting outside, like I was wearing shorts and I was like
oh my
hot.
God.
Yeah,
Oh my
it was
God.
fucking crazy.
Oh my
But you know, what about you, Anne?
It was good. Yeah, I did Christmas Eve, my mom's side of the family, and then Christmas Day. I was very excited because the gifts that I got, well, actually, this is crazy. So the gifts that I got from my parents were very well received, and one of them was, guys, and when I said last episode that my mom is the biggest fucking showman ever, I'm dead serious because her Christmas gift was Greatest Showman themed. Was able to find a signed copy of the screenplay and I got it framed for her and she shit a brick. She loved it.
That's crazy. I thought you were going to say like
Yeah.
DVD, Blu-ray.
I actually got her a VHS copy of The Greatest Showman. She can't watch it, but it means a lot
Where
to her.
did you find that?
Etsy. There's like this guy who, I mean, like that's like a big, like, you know, online business or whatever that you like gets signed, screenplays signed and stuff. So it's like Jackman,
Jenny Bick.
Michelle Williams, yeah, and like
Jenny
Bill
Bick.
Condon, Zac Efron. It's like all the leads, which is crazy.
I wouldn't be happy unless Jenny Bick had signed,
Yeah,
personally.
she actually
Couldn't
wrote like
be
over all the text, so you can't read any of the other signatures.
Ah!
Love
Yeah.
Jenny Bick.
and post Christmas, in the words of I believe it's Benito Skinner and Mary Beth Barone, I'm boldly coming on the pod looking absolute dog shit. So
Yeah, we have
Merry
Eminem in the
Christmas.
studio with us today.
this is Slim Shady.
Mary, did you know?
This is very Mary. Did you know? This is crazy. Sorry, not to tangent. When I early this year, some of our listeners may know, I shaved my head for personal reasons.
Bald
Personal
check.
reasons being I wanted to.
Thank
Bald
you.
check and scalp check. And I came home for the first time to reveal my buzz cut when I was wearing a hoodie such as this. And I came home and Carson, before even saying like anything about how like it looks good, he goes, "You look like Slim Shady." He goes, "You look like Eminem." And he was
Oh
like,
my
"I almost
God.
didn't recognize you. You look like Eminem."
I didn't
then-
say
I almost
that.
killed myself on the spot.
then-
You were like, "I almost didn't recognize you."
That's
You looked
crazy.
very different than you did with long hair. Is that a bad thing? No.
Dun 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 da da da. Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
So,
Okay.
well, anyway.
Well, should we get into this
Anyway.
week's episode?
I'm
Thanks.
dying. I cannot wait.
Hi, I'm Carson,
And I'm Connor.
and this is He Said, a podcast where we deep dive week by week into anything and everything that fascinates us.
We started this podcast because we feel what the world needs right now is 2 white gay guys talking to each other about their opinions. Enjoy.
Okay, so I thought we would start off and we would just recap a little bit about what we talked about last week. You know, what do you all remember about what we talked about when it comes to the Showman?
I actually listened to the episode twice because I'm just so full of myself. But no, I wanted to see like what we included and whatever. And, you know, it's interesting I think, collective love we have for this piece, while also recognizing its many faults and where
Mm-hmm.
its shortcomings. So I think that was sort of the overall vibe I got from last week's app.
Yeah, I think it was an enjoyment of the spectacle and also, which is very sickening still, which is the sickening showman. But yeah, at the same time, like it was the thing, it was like form versus actual content. The content, story, background, dog shit. But the actual,
Yeah.
like the execution it's just like a fierce little musical.
Yeah, I think it's a very like it's there's a nuance in it.
Yeah. You can exactly, like it can go, two things can be true at once. It can be like the music can go crazy, the choreo can be sickening. But I stand by the idea that it just shouldn't have been about P.T. Barnum. Literally could have been beat for beat about pretty much the same. And just been a different person as the lead character. I'm surprised that at no point throughout production they were like, maybe we should like change this character's name or like change the lead and make it just more like inspired by. I don't know. I'm surprised that people wanted to be associated with that.
Yeah, I mean, I think because so early on, before even like the script was written, the story was written, they knew that they wanted it to be about P.T. Barnum because of like Hugh already being attached to the project and expressing interest about like a Barnum project. I think they probably thought like, oh, like this is a Barnum thing, like at the end of the day. And I just wish though, if you're going to do a Barnum thing, like you said last week, to make it accurate and like a less, like when you were talking about Veep, like a less idolization of him and more of an honest depiction. And it made me, when I was thinking about what we talked about last week, it makes me like, what I would love to see in the world, and maybe I'll do it, is someone create a movie called, because I don't know if you remember the original title of the thing was The Greatest Showman on Earth. And so I would think it would be so cool if somebody made a movie called The Greatest Showman on Earth and it was like an honest depiction of P.T. Barnum, like more of like a actual commentary, something. I don't know if it would be a drama or I don't know.
It certainly couldn't be a musical. This is it's like if they were going to take it in that direction, this is the thing also. They literally could not. The thing is that the Greatest Showman film as it stands on also like that you can watch right now could not be like a true Barnum thing because the entire form, the execution, like it would be, imagine how insanely insensitive it would be for like the actual content to be like the true awful horrendous shit that was going on behind the scenes, and then everyone gets up and is like whoop, like it could not, they could not coexist. It would have to be a completely different film.
I mean,
and so I think they realized that they were like, we can't, which is irresponsible, but like,
imagine if it had like a Sweeney or Jekyll vibe though, and it was like dark. It was like a horror.
See, that would be kind of fierce.
A horror musical.
But yeah, but also it's like, oof, I don't know, because it's like it's real. Like that's the thing.
I know. It's not. It's not.
Like,
it's It'd be
like,
tough
can we attend the tale?
It's like, what do we want to? Also, it's like we said last week, in a 2016 world, producers not having the self-awareness to think about the history of this person and whatever, to have the name Barnum attached to something.
Like he isn't, like he's the main character, but he isn't like this like person that everybody wants to be, which I guess like at one point in The Greatest Showman, maybe you don't want to be P.T. Barnum, but then he gets redeemed in the end, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, and then they go to the bar literally the bar from Cheers where everybody knows your name, and they're like, it's okay, actually. You know what? I watched a video essay. This is so funny because we're like a commentary podcast and I'm about to talk about a commentary show. But I watched this video essay recently. Literally. Commentaryceptions. I watched a video essay recently. I can't remember the name of the YouTuber. Big ups to this person. I'll find it and I'll, share it at some point. But where he was talking about Barry and like sort of the journey of that show and how it's incredibly effective in creating a character that at first, like, well, and again, this, like, The Greatest Showman, the original IP, obviously it's a real person. This is different. This is fictional. But, like, they did a really excellent job of creating a character where you can kind of understand, like, where they're coming from, or, like, not where they're coming from, but, like, their mindset and stuff. Like, he's the lead of the show. He's the protagonist of the show. But by no means, unless you're, like, one of, like, red-pilled asshole watching this show, do you think, like, especially towards the end, like, oh, Barry, like, is a good guy. Like, Barry, what he's doing is right. And, like, it's an excellent depiction of sort of like the cowardice behind that character while also still being like an entertaining show, and it isn't just constantly hitting you over the head with like, this person's bad, because I feel like with satire, not that Greatest Showman should have been a satire. I don't know what this fantasy Barnum project should be, but it's like, I think there's also a fine line in creating satire between just like feeding the audience the point and like, I think recently there's been sort of a turn in media. I don't know. I feel
But
like
it's true, though.
we've swung really hard, but we've swung really hard to the opposite side where it's like now back like a few years ago, it was like idolizing these awful people. And now on the other side, it's like, if there's especially with fictional stories, it's like there's no nuance or like understanding that the audience is not like stupid, you know?
Yeah.
And going back to Greatest Showman, you know,
Right.
I think we
Revisiting the
talked.
Greatest Showman.
Well,
Well,
to
yeah.
tie it all together. We were talking last week about how the stakes ultimately weren't very high this whole movie, even though there was sort of like some dramatic situations. But I think that's what you lose in a character when you get rid of, like, when you mellow out a character, like you were saying, like when you have someone like
Mhm.
Barry, where, you know, you show the flaws and you show, like, that's a good drama. You know, when you have characters
That's
that
what's
are flawed,
interesting.
it is,
Mhm.
and it makes you, yeah. So it's interesting when you talk about that leading back to Greatest Showman, because it's like it almost does a disservice to have him have these like fuck up moments, but they're not even that like fuck
Not to have them
upable.
matter.
Yeah. I also
Yeah.
wonder, like, because I know this film was made for children, and like obviously that has to be in the back of any sort of critique of its mind. Not that anything is not valid. It's just like also at the same time, it's like, mind you, they made this so that kids would like want to sing this song at a talent show. So, but like,
And they did.
and they sang the fuck out
And
of
trust.
it,
They
and they
did.
sang the fuck out of them. They blew out their sweet little young voices and sang the fuck out of them. But I wonder, like, the "this is me" of it all, and this is another thing I take umbrage with, is that it's never addressed like throughout the film that, and like from the perspective of like the people who are like the employees, like the people performing at the circus, quote unquote, that like he's making money off of their, like, you know, off of people hating and like, you know, having their perceptions of these people. Like, he's making money off of these performers. And instead of like, I feel like "This Is Me," like that whole number could have worked a lot, or like that whole part of the film could have worked a lot better if there was some sort of like retribution. I feel like for the forgiveness that they give him in From Now On, which is just so hilarious, like could have maybe been in this fictionalized, you know, story, maybe have been earned a little bit more if there was some sort of like moment of retribution, like where he was like, fuck, you're right, I need to like make major changes. And again, this is not reality, but like this would be like
It's
if I was like
fiction.
writing this story, yeah, a fictional one.
Yeah.
We're talking
You
to
know?
Jenny
Well, and that's
Bix, screenwriter
Yeah.
Jenny
But-
Bix. We're talking to you.
But I think that goes back. That's the problem. This
Yeah.
is a Barnum project, and because Barnum didn't do anything, he didn't change his behavior. They couldn't. It's like it's crazy what they're deciding to be accurate and what they're not.
I was
you know?
gonna say, like, but has that stopped them before? Clearly
know.
no,
Right,
but like it's funny that
I
they
know.
We could
yeah.
have. Okay, but we're like Jenny Lind is a harlot and a scoundrel. Like, oh, we can make that up, but like P.T. Barnum actually like making some changes to help the people that work for him. Nah, that's too far.
wonder-
No, like,
I wonder if
and that's
also
what I
this
mean
is,
about like the like fantasy Barnum project I'm talking about. Like these
Yeah.
type of like questions and like discussions I think are interesting, and I think like could make for a good movie. So that's kind of just to like talk a little bit more about what we talked about last week, but
right.
to talk
We
about
could talk. We could get into all
we
that
could
for
we
hours.
could yeah, we could go do that all day. But today we're going to talk about the historical implications of The Greatest Showman, and I have a thesis statement for you
Love.
about what I personally believe.
I
And
personally believe.
In this essay,
And
I will.
and I'm going to try to convince you of my opinion
All
by
right.
the end of this episode. All right.
Okay. I'm freaking out.
So, in the world of movie musicals, the film The Greatest Showman marked a clear departure from the typical way of making them. Through its audio design and cinematography, its unique stylization, as well
an
as
MLA
its
format.
hyper-choreographed moments, The Greatest Showman developed a specific and new way to make movie musicals, and many have followed in its footsteps since, for better or for worse.
I have full body chills. I
The
literally have.
most influential showman.
Okay, time for the body paragraph.
Yeah, exactly. Come on, MLA format.
Body paragraph, let's do it. So, okay, the first question I want to answer is what made The Greatest Showman different? Because obviously it was not like the first movie musical, the first like big box office movie musical. So like what made it different? What was in the water in 2017 that made this different? And I thought what better place to start than the people who made it? So we've been talking about her today already, but first we have Jenny Bix. She was the screenwriter and the writer of the original story. Now, you know Jenny Bix, right, Connor?
Like, know her work or?
Yeah, like we went to school together.
No, you know her work. You know her work. You've talked about her work on the pod.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I know about her because I feel passionate about her screenwriting abilities. But outside of Showmen, but.
Oh my God.
Because she's what is she a screenwriter in? Do you not know?
Google, show me Jenny Bix.
So
Am
Jenny,
I crazy?
She is an American producer and writer, best known for her work as a television writer on Sex and the City.
Are you actually kidding me?
No, I'm not. I thought you would know.
And Rio 2.
And Rio 2.
I thought Jenny Bix was like some British woman.
No, she's American, and she was a writer on Sex and the City, and also the ABC show Men in Trees.
She's an Emmy winner.
Yeah.
She's an Emmy. Hold up.
The Sex and the City.
It's like that
but I mean, so she, and then we also know from last week she was a writer for the 81st Academy Awards, and that's how she got brought on to the Showman Project, because that's kind of when that idea started. So next, Bill Condon. He is a New Yorker. He was born in 1955, and he has a huge resume. He began his career working on gothic horror films that were parodies of like the 1950s, like homages to like pulp horror films. As both a screenwriter and a director, he received an Academy Award in 1998 for Best Screenplay for the film that he wrote and directed called Gods and Monsters. I thought this was a quote from the New York Times. It said that he may have been the most stunned person at the Academy Awards when his name was announced as the winner for Best Adapted Screenplay. So, like, he was not expecting it. It was kind of like nobody was expecting it, especially him.
And you know what people say about the screenplay Oscar? People are always like, I watch the Best Picture winners, but it's like, you want to find the good movies? Watch all of the screenplay winners. Like, that is the good shit.
Yeah.
This is a huge day for Gods and Monsters, but it's also a really big day for Bill Condon.
And we need to make that known.
Make space for Bill Condon. Hold space
for... Bill is no stranger to musicals either. He wrote the screenplay for the Chicago movie and for the Dreamgirls movie. And he also directed the Dreamgirls movie. So he is like, he has been in the business making movie musicals way before The Greatest Showman.
So she gets it.
Two of the best movie musicals, I would say.
Yeah. Chicago is one of the best movie musicals ever made.
And Dreamgirls is just like fucking incredible.
Dreamgirls is
like, yeah, both.
He directed both parts of Twilight Breaking Dawn, which I thought was just funny. And then he also directed Sideshow in 2013 at La Jolla Playhouse.
Oh my God.
So he was like, let me get in there.
I see.
Let me get into that theater-ish.
That little circus.
That was a troubled revival. We can talk about that.
Really?
we can
I don't
get
know
into
that much about it.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about it, Con.
I mean, there's not a whole lot to say. It's just like that show is sort of had a lot of love, had a lot of cult love when it first came out. And they marketed this huge revival. They had a great cast, and it kind of just like flopped out of nowhere. Yeah, and people love that show, but people say it was like the producers and stuff. But that's crazy.
Well, and they were definitely trying to. Did it go to Broadway? I don't think it did.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was on Broadway. Yeah, and then there's more I could say, but it has to be off the pod.
That's the I will never leave. That's Sideshow.
Yeah.
I'll never leave you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Classic.
Yeah. So yeah, and then in 2017, he directed Disney's live-action remake of Beauty and the Beast, also, the movie.
So we know this girl. We know her.
And then finally, after that is when he co-authored the screenplay of The Greatest Showman. Or I guess, that started in 2009, but then it was happening the whole time. As far as I found, it said that he revised Jenny Bix's original draft. So
in what way?
That seems kind of shady to me. I don't know. No. But like it just like that wording seemed like a little shady, that like either she wrote the original draft and he like massively changed it or didn't. Do you know what I mean?
Well, that's kind of like this is not the same at all, but it just reminds me when like Elf, LOL, Elf mentioned, Christmas mentioned, like the script
Christmas!
for Elf originally was like a lot darker. I forget the name of the screenwriter, but when they started like shopping it and bringing it around to different like potential directors and stuff, Jon Favreau did like a massive rewrite of the film, and
Oh,
like
yeah, I
that's
remember
what we
this
ended up
story.
seeing because it was really like PG-13 or something. So maybe it was that, maybe especially because he's a Disney guy. Maybe like it was like a more of a, family rewrite, the greatest rewrite. I don't know.
I would love to get my hands on Jenny Bick's original draft.
Jenny Bix,
Yeah.
swipe up.
Jenny Bix, hey,
Swipe up.
our email, he said podshow@gmail.com. Send it right on over.
At gmail.podshow.
We did.
Yeah. But okay, this is also I found out he's signed on to direct a Guys and Dolls movie in 2021. But he left the project in 2023 and was replaced by
What?
the director of the Chicago movie, Rob Marshall.
Well, that'll be fun.
So-
Is it still happening?
Yeah, it's still happening.
It's gonna be Ansel Elgort and
I'll kill myself.
Ariana Grande.
She actually would be a cute Sarah Brown.
Well, I was thinking her for Adelaide.
I was thinking her for Adelaide too.
No, just vote. Just vote. I love
Just
Ariana.
Vote, just vote.
No, she should be Sarah. We can get into this. But that's also like that's a show that could do the showman treatment. Like that would, the style of Greatest Showman would work for Guys
Yeah.
and Dolls.
Yeah.
I
Well,
agree.
yes.
I agree.
Well, yes.
Oh, and then the last thing about him, he just announced in December of 2023 that he would write and direct a film adaptation of Kiss of the Spider Woman, and Jennifer Lopez is set to star and co-executive produce.
We
And it
saw
just
what
came out.
happened. Yeah, to rave reviews and sold out theaters and nominations a buzz.
Galore.
To
Nominations
Peabody
galore.
Awards, Nobel Peace Prizes, many.
Yeah, no Golden Globe for Miss J-Lo. No Golden
Or
Globe.
for Bill Condon.
She was campaigning the shit out of that movie, trying to get an Oscar nom, and it's not going to happen.
I'm sorry. Sorry to
Kiss
this
of
woman.
the William woman. Yeah, that's crazy.
Damn,
Damn,
so-
that's crazy.
I mean, when we look at Jenny Bix, we look at Bill Condon, both the screenplay writers for The Greatest Showman. They are very well established within the world of like entertainment, and specifically in Bill Condon's case, in movie musicals. So like, what made The Greatest Showman different? Why do I think that it's different? Why isn't it just another in the list of Bill Condon's movie musicals? Enter Michael Gracie, who is the director. I said last time that he was the director of the film, but what I did not mention is that this was Gracie's directorial debut, The Greatest
Crazy.
Showman. This is the first movie that he ever directed, was The Greatest Showman, which is crazy
Debut.
when you think about it, because this was a massive project with Disney, with everybody. Like, it's just like, it is crazy that they like took a chance on this guy who had literally never made a movie before.
Yeah.
So he was born in Melbourne, Australia. He started working in visual effects and music videos before making his reputation in advertising. And he gained a name for himself with Christmas commercials in the UK and the United States. So he was like a marketer. Like he wasn't like making movies.
This all tracks because it does give, like, Greatest Showman does give, like, the old Coke commercials where it was, like, traveling to the North Pole. Like, it does.
Very commercial.
So he worked for 2 years at the animation and video effects studio called Animal Logic from 1994 to 1996 as an animator and an effects compositor. And then he left that company to work at Complete Post, during which time Gracie met and began working with Baz Luhrmann, who invited him to work
my
on
God.
Moulin Rouge.
There it is.
There we go.
And when I found this out, I literally felt like I was like, had the yarn and the board. Like I was like
Mhm.
drawing all the connections. Because
The Pepe
When you
Sylvia,
think
like
of-
the...
yes, the Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Yeah.
yes,
like, just
yes.
because when you think about it, it totally makes sense that Moulin Rouge is like the father of The Greatest Showman. It
Mhm.
absolutely is. Like just this the way the songs are written, the way they're placed, like that totally checks out in my mind at least.
Yeah, it's very like, Mr. Moulin Rouge was my father. You can call me Showman. Like, that's what it gives. It is. It's very much like exactly. It's an edgier sort of, because Baz Luhrmann always was a little bit like sexier. Because obviously this movie couldn't go, imagine like an R. That's crazy. But like, yeah, it is very much that bomb. Especially, I mean, Moulin Rouge obviously it's a movie musical, but what links in my mind is like the later Baz Luhrmann stuff. I'm thinking about
Same.
like Great Gatsby, like which is so hyper produced.
Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, craziness, crazy
that-
pants.
Yeah, Baz Luhrmann, I'm just like, okay, that makes sense. Hyper stylized. Yeah.
Well, that just like fantasy-esque, like kind of like, but it's also hyper realistic. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, it's hard to
Yeah.
describe, but it is very specific. And I think about other movie musicals that were coming out in that day weren't achieving that. Like, I don't think Dreamgirls achieved that. I don't think Hairspray achieved that. Chicago, maybe. But also Chicago was stylized in a very different way because it was like, because of like the crime element. Like, I think it was like,
and like
a
the
very
musical.
different
I mean,
stylization.
Chicago is so cabaret in nature. Not the musical cabaret, but I mean, same world, obviously, like Fosse, but like it's very much like there is a narrative, but it is so like, what's the word, vignette almost, that like it can literally be, it doesn't have to follow like a normal film structure.
Yeah,
So
and arguably, I think all those films are better musicals than The Greatest Showman also. So I think it lends itself to, I think you follow the character arcs in a
the
different
source
way.
material speaks for itself.
Yeah.
Well, and also, Connor, you mentioned this last week, and I hadn't even thought about that until you said it, but because The Greatest Showman was written to be a movie and was not an adaptation of a stage musical, it has some things that work well for it and some things that don't. And I think, like, when you think about it was based on Moulin Rouge, okay, how can we make another? Because Moulin Rouge also was written to be a movie. It wasn't a stage musical. It is now, but like,
unfortunately.
Yeah.
Who said that? Who said that?
Who said that? I'm scared.
I'm scared.
But like, you have you're able to kind of like structure your movie however you want and make it work in that Baz Luhrmann style when you write things to be a movie and you're not trying to like shoehorn a musical into a film.
I mean, we love these songs, but half the songs in this movie are about nothing. Let's just be real. Lyrically speaking.
They're pop songs.
They're about nothing.
Pop music writing is its own thing, and it is not. There is in a world where I will say that writing like radio or like just like traditional pop and whatever music is like less difficult than writing musical theater. Whatever, they're just completely different.
Yeah.
And like the successful musical theater song of. There are two, in my opinion, in Showman. There are two successful musical theater songs. One of them is what the other side, because that is like a plot moving forward. You can perfectly see that happening on stage. And honestly, A Million Dreams, but it's less because of like the lyrics. It's more because of the way that they use it to move the story forward. Everything else are like standalone pop songs written for radio. To like, and they were kind of like throwing spaghetti at the wall, seeing which one would be a huge hit.
This Is Me won that spaghetti race, unfortunately.
Well, it's like a torch song. It's like he's so relatable, so catchy.
Yeah.
Makes you want to dance.
This one does not make
so let's dance. Let's dance.
The land, honey, the land. Sorry.
Honey, the land.
Honey, the land.
Honey, the land. The land, honey.
The land. He drowned.
He drowned. Thank you.
He's in Florida. Does that make sense? No. But thank you.
But thank you.
She should write the Greatest Showman screenplay.
From Beyond the Grave.
So since The Greatest Showman, Michael Gracie has done less notable work, to say the least, including a short film for Tourism Australia and the box office flop that was the Robbie Williams biopic Better Man. He was the director.
Oh my God.
Better Man. Did any of you see Better Man?
No, but I heard a lot about it.
Did not care.
I heard a lot about it. Watched the trailer and everything. To me, seems very Showman. Seems very Showman. So, anyways.
The primate Showman.
Oh, and also, I didn't realize how much of a flop that movie was. The budget was $110 million. They only grossed $22.5 million. Like,
net loss.
Flop. So it turns out lightning cannot strike twice for
clearly
Michael. So Gracie, I think, is what made Showman different. I think Gracie was one piece of the puzzle. The other, I believe, was Seamus McGarvey. He was the cinematographer.
What a name.
Yeah. He was a cinematographer for The Greatest Showman, and he started his career as a documentary cinematographer for concerts, and then switched to TV movies and later blockbuster films. This is funny. I was going through his credentials and everything, and it's funny because he did the cinematography for the 2011 psychological drama We Need to Talk About Kevin, which is
Tilda.
As dedicated listeners will know, we talked about that on our second episode about Ruby Frankie
in our sophomore episode.
So
It all
in our sophomore
comes
episode.
back.
It all
We
comes
need to
back.
talk about Showmen.
We need to talk about Showman.
It all
But
comes back.
namely, and why I think Seamus was such a force for change in this movie was because he did the cinematography for the 2012 blockbuster film Avengers.
Fucking of course he did. Fucking of course.
And
this is a Marvel movie.
It's a Marvel.
I would argue that movie, when you look at Avengers, that like redefined kind of like the superhero genre, the action genre, like what type of films could be massively popular and successful. Because back then, I would say the Avengers movie was the beginning of like the MCU era in the 2010s and when in 2012. And like from 2012 until 2019, when Avengers Endgame came out, everybody was talking about Marvel movies. They were massively popular. Like all of them were doing well. Literally every single Marvel movie made money. They were all popular. All the actors wanted to be in a Marvel movie. Like it was popular, very popular. So if I get into the mind of Michael Gracie, who has his background in marketing and advertising, and I look at the way the world's going, and I think, okay, all these people, they're loving these superhero movies. I'm going to make my movie musical that I'm directing like a superhero movie. I'm going to make it like, I'm going to have action sequences. I'm going to have like, just like the style. It's going to be simple plot, like
thin plot line,
idolized characters, like all of these things. Like it's going to be a huge bombastic spectacle, like, and that's what did it, and that's what worked.
Oh my
I'm
God.
trying to think, like, okay, so if this is a Marvel movie, like, what Avenger is Jackman, the greatest Jackman? I mean, well, obviously, I'm fucking but he's not Wolverine in this film. I'm thinking, like, is he supposed to be like Captain America? Like, you know what I mean? In the Showman cinematic universe, like, what superhero are they modeling P.T. Barnum after?
I think it's got to be Captain America or maybe Iron Man. No, because Iron Man's too flawed.
Yeah,
he's got to be Captain America.
Captain the America.
Yeah.
Honestly, any of them, but to think of like, oh yeah, they made Hugh Jackman a superhero. They made P.T. Barnum a superhero.
And then that gets even crazier when you consider like Hugh Jackman being Wolverine before
already
this.
a superhero.
You know? Like he's already established as a superhero.
Mm-hmm.
And so then we're just going to do the same thing, but he sings.
Oh, this is a superhero movie musical.
Yeah.
Wow. And so, I mean, like we saw this in the editors. One of the editors, Michael McCusker, had a history of working on action and superhero movies. Two of the producers, Peter Chernin and Jenno Topping, were both producers on action films like Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and War of the Planet of the Apes. So like everybody attached to this project like has a history of being in these type of films.
Sorry, what was that name? Jenno Topping?
Jenno Topping.
Okay, sorry, that just caught me off guard.
Jenno Topping who?
Jennifer O. Topping.
Jen O. Topping. So I also think that The Greatest Showman operates more like an action movie than a movie musical when it comes to audio design and cinematography. And part of that is we hear, when we're watching it, every single swoosh of the fabric getting tossed during the choreography, of every prop getting put down. Think about the other side, like how I was talking about every single time the prop that's rhythmic, we hear it audio wise.
Yeah.
The fight scene where the fire starts is shot and designed like it's out of a superhero movie. The score is like a superhero movie. And then every moment is hyper choreographed, whether it's actual dancing or a reaction or the setting down of a prop or camera movement. It is rhythmic, it is deliberate, and we hear it and we see it.
So this just reminded me, for our audio listeners, I just raised my hand so that I just didn't want to interrupt. But Marvel movies, Marvel superhero movie landing, where like they land on like you know what I mean? Like the superhero landing. Low key, during This Is Me, when they jump, and then they are held in space, and then they all kind of like land. That give like, come on, the Marvel superhero landing element. So
yeah,
there,
totally.
So take that.
So there.
Anyway,
I had a thought and I can't remember what it was. It just flew right out of my damn brain.
I've also for the last 15 minutes been trying to figure out how to link this to Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark, but I'm having a hard time. How do I bring up Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark?
I'm finding it.
I'm finding
it. This also, and this is another thing that I wanted to talk about in terms of the audio design in this movie, is proximity-based audio design, which is the idea that like when the camera is closer to a character, especially during songs is when I'm talking about this, that their mic level gets boosted. So like if you think about like I remember specifically in the opening, like there's one part where Zendaya's like in a hoop and she's like this,
Yeah.
like, and the camera's like very close to her and you can hear her voice like over everybody else's
Right.
at that time, which is different than old movie musicals. You know, I'd have to rewatch it. I don't think that they did that in Hairspray. I don't think that they didn't do that back in Hello Dolly in the 60s. Like it's just like I don't know.
It's just shot so differently in regards to sort of the audio and everything. I'm trying to think of like specific moments. I think there's only like 4 or 5 times that there's like a scene in the film where it's like characters in a room speaking to each other. Do you know what I mean? Like I feel like so much
Yeah.
of this movie is like the swish and everything is so like enhanced and whatever that
It's very like, this is also going off what Carson has been saying, and I think this is so interesting, how like in a lot of action films like big bucket, right, of course.
big bucket films.
Big bucket
bucket.
films, popcorn bucket films, big budget action films. It is about like did I just say it again? Did I say bucket again?
Sure.
Just say bucket. Big bucket.
Just say
Okay.
bucket.
That's what,
Right.
let's coin a new term.
I'm going to break my mic in 10 seconds. Okay. Anyway, so in these big ass films, like it is the plot is so thin and it is very much about getting from or segueing from one moment of action to the next because they know that is what the audiences who are coming to see these films want to see. Greatest Showman operates in the exact same way where it is how quickly and how sort of painlessly can we get from one big set piece number to another while still like passing as a film and not a music video. Each song is like a music video. They work perfectly as standalones.
The enmeshment.
So then like Seamus the cinematographer having his background, the way he started and recording concerts and recording music videos, it like makes so much sense. It's like,
yeah,
of course you're doing this. Like, of course you're the perfect person to make this. Like it makes
the greatest person even.
Yeah,
Seamus
McNavy.
Seamus McGarvey,
whatever you
I
want.
think. Yeah, Seamus
Could be
McGarvey.
anything.
So I mean, to round out like this body paragraph, if you will, I think that Gracie, just like P.T. Barnum, he uses his knowledge of marketing and advertising to sell people this film, even if it's just kind of like smoke and mirrors. And, you know, it's very smart. It's very deliberate. You know, he's capitalizing on the popularity of action movies, of superhero movies, and using it to sell his own thing and make himself money. It's very smart, but it's just
commercial. It's a commercial. It's a one-day commercial.
Yeah.
It's literally, the whole movie gives the vibe of the AMC Coke ad.
Oh my God.
Where they're like drag racing.
The new one.
And then they're like hip hop in the street.
Yeah.
Yes.
It gives that.
I hate that one.
I love that.
Did you see that did you see the new Coke ad, like the Christmas one that's like AI generated?
AI.
Like the entire thing is AI generated.
AI. Yeah.
It, like,
and what's crazy
I saw it in
is
the movies. It pissed me off.
What's crazy is 15 years ago, they were literally making... It pissed me off. They were literally making those exact commercials and paying animators, and they look better. Like, this is... I could go back through the fucking archives. I think this exact commercial already exists. In, like, the... I've seen this shit before. Like, I don't understand why... I just don't... Just vote.
Because it's AI. Because it's taking from stuff that's already made and just repackaging it a little bit differently.
It's lazy. It's bullshit. And I'm a Diet Coke head. Fuck you.
Did you see that,
I just think that's such a ridiculous cop-out.
Did you see that AI used more water than the bottled water industry this year?
Of course.
That's awesome.
Let's get those data centers going, you guys. Let's get them going.
Come on. Let's go. Jeff Bezos.
4 more. And there was that study, I forget what city it was, but I think it was in the Midwest, where they built a data center in the past couple of years, and now there's been like pockets of rare cancers popping up around those areas, like in the population at like really high rates. Everybody better be jumping.
Come on, monsters. Let's go.
Like,
get your paws up. Let's go.
What's the most, and sorry, tangent, like the greatest tangent, but what's the craziest part of, not the craziest part, but one of the most maddening parts of all of this is these big tech people and the government and whoever the fuck and even regular citizens who are like indoctrinated trying to convince you that this is good for people, like where they're like, well, actually it's saving a lot of money, it's saving for and it's very convenient. ChatGPT
and our brains are gonna rot out of our heads from being stupid.
At least just own up to the fact that it's bad. Like, you know what I mean? I'd rather you just say that to me than like try to pretend it's good for me.
Well, this is the greatest tangent, but
Yeah.
to get back to next body paragraph.
Geno topping. Sorry, I just love that name.
So, I mean, and we've kind of already like hinted at this. I believe that like due to the immense success of The Greatest Showman, I think that other movie musicals since have taken a page or 200 out of its book. And I think since 2017, many movie musicals have the same kind of style that The Greatest Showman developed. You know, those like large action sequences and hyper choreographed moments, McDancing that's designed to go viral and, you know, market the movie. Like, I'm sure you can think of a couple off the top of your head.
I mean,
and
yeah.
also, wait, clock it, because they did did you hear about how they, the evidence, they did reshoot that moment in Wicked for Good, because originally the scene where Glinda comes in and it's like, Glinda, you're still so good, we love you, and she's like, oh, thanks guys. In the second one, she was wearing that gorgeous dress that they used in all the promo photos, and that got cut so that they could recreate the Dear Glinda book moment in Wicked for Good, because it went viral. But the choreo was too hard. People don't know how to do it in the second one. Clock it.
I was wondering where the green tutu went.
Yeah, and that, I know, it's so disappointing because that dress was probably the most IMO, most gorgeous costume I saw from the second
It was
film.
really pretty.
My sister took umbrage with the lack of looks, particularly from Glinda. She had like 3 looks.
I take umbrage with that sex cardigan, but we can move past this. Ridiculous.
That's MTV's ridiculousness.
More layers.
Yeah.
Keep them coming.
Anyway,
but
back
Carson
to...
said, Carson said that, I remember you telling me that Wicked as a whole, those movies are very Greatest Showman
I think,
coded.
well, and that's what made me, I said at the beginning of the first episode, like Wicked for Good is kind of what made me think about all of this. Like I was thinking about it, especially watching Wicked for Good, because I don't think it was as good as the first one. I was just like watching it and I was like, you hear those same things, the swooshes of the audio, and you can, the proximity based, like the style of going from how can we get from one action thing or one big thing to the next. Or one of the moments that really sticks out to me in the first Wicked movie is One Short Day. The entire, when they get to the thing, when those guys are going like this, like the hyper choreography, like when that little group of people's like, one short day to get down in the emeralds. It's so Showman to me. And it's like different. It's different than the Wicked musical is. It's very different. And I think it's because they're trying to appeal to a larger, it's marketing. And I think like that's kind of like my conclusion at the end of the day through all of this is that, well, it's two things. I think one thing, it's marketing. And I hate that instead of being creative, instead of being artistic, we are changing source material. We are dumbing it down in the means of marketing so that it can sell better and make more money. I don't like that. I understand it. I don't like it. And then the other part is this sameness that is getting applied to the movie musical genre. Like there's like when we're all trying to like recapture and recreate what The Greatest Showman did, there's like this air of sameness in the genre. And I wish that like you think about the movie musicals that came before, you know, like we had The Producers, Rent, Hairspray, even like High School Musical, like all of these musicals are so different and they have completely different audiences, completely different genres, and they are trying to like reach a different thing. And it is about telling the story in the best way. And in a post-Showman world, I think that like we're losing that. And it's frustrating to me.
I have to agree. I think when you I didn't even see it this clearly, but now going through it, I'm like, holy shit. I almost prefer when it wasn't like that, when everything wasn't so, like, if you take a look specifically at the movies, let's say the ones we've been referencing, Hairspray, Dreamgirls, even Chicago, all of the dancing in those movies are somewhat diegetic. You know, Chicago, it's sort of like that cabaret-esque. So like, when they move into a musical sequence, they're moving into a musical sequence. The whole movie isn't like popping and locking. Same with Hairspray. All of the dancing that happens, it's because it's like, we're going to dance now because we're on TV, or like we're in detention and we're going to be rowdy. Like it's literal and it's diegetic in the story. Like it's happening. Like they're not walking down the streets of Baltimore and everyone's popping and locking. Like it's not like that.
And it's purposeful and it's stylized. I think about even like La La Land. I think the dancing in that movie is very like stylized and diegetic in the sense of the circumstances, and it makes sense. Versus, I feel like every movie musical has that kind of like poppin' and lockin' stuff when it comes out now. I mean, just to like the Matilda movie musical, 13, the one that they did on Netflix, the Prom
Mean
musical,
Girls.
Mean Girls, Wicked, In the Heights. In the Heights is a little bit different because I think it makes sense within that world. But I mean, the Aladdin remake, Mary Poppins Returns, like
everything has sort of that like sheen over it, that like it removes it from any sort of like flaw or like uniqueness. And this is coming from a showman. This style that the Greatest Showman has sort of like created for future movie musicals. It's like this like sort of sheen over like any sort of flaw or humanity that is like found in live theater or has been found in like previous movie musical adaptations. And it is sort of, in my mind, and circling back to AI, the AI of film. Because it's like it lacks that sort of like not even edge, but just like the humanity, sort of the flaw. Yeah, and like
Yes.
I'm a fan of hyper choreographed moments. Like I think that can be really fun, where it's like it's something that exists in musical theater, where it's like when somebody grabs something on the beat and then it's like perfectly timed, but like it feels like it's supporting the story, and it's like it's one of those moments where you're watching it and you're like, yes, like I was hoping they were going to do that and they did that. But that in conjunction with
Like it
everything
becomes
else,
like Happy Baby. Like it's like
It dumbs
Yeah.
it down.
and they
It
grab
dumbs
the
it
thing at
down.
the
it's not
exact time.
not every single moment has to be like satisfying. It has to be like effective. I think there's a difference between something being really effective and it just being for the purpose of like being visually satisfying.
Because look at, what do they say with theater specifically, but like musicals? It's like when you can't speak anymore, you sing. When you can't sing anymore, you dance. Okay, so then why in No One Mourns the Wicked are the Munchkins popping and locking? Like, that's not like a dance number.
And it doesn't even
It's
give
for
really like
it's for the audience.
celebratory. Because I could see a world in where there is dance incorporated into that song, as sort of like these people are celebrating this woman's death. Yeah, but
Well, there could be choreography, but I'm like, why are you popping and locking?
No, exactly. There's a lot to be said. There's a lot to be said.
Because I kind of was just like, that's a bit stupid.
Yeah.
Because it lacks that humanity. It dumbs it down. It's like, okay, they're telling us we're watching a musical.
It's like, I know you're singing.
That's a great
So, I mean, yeah, and so that's just kind of like, I think we're all very agreeing on this, but I think I just think it's interesting. And I mean, before we wrap up, I kind of wanted to do just like a quick fire of like showman or not. And so I like have like a list of movie musicals. And so you can say whether you think it's showman or whether you think it's not.
Oh, fun.
Okay. Mean Girls, the musical movie.
Showman. Oh my God.
There's very little for me to say about this.
Point taken.
Yeah.
Sure.
I guess.
The Dear Evan Hansen movie.
Very showman.
A showman that is trying to trick you into thinking it's not a showman.
That's not.
The most deceptive showman.
A deceptive showman.
I could get into that. That is also like, that is so like the form does not meet the content at all. Okay, continue.
Yeah. Pitch Perfect.
Not showman.
Not showman.
The finale, like the finals performance, is kind of showman, but like the film itself is not showman. Yeah, it's showman in a like fun, like choreographed, but the film is also like all the music in that is diegetic. Yeah, no showman.
Yeah.
Bard and Bella's only.
Okay, the Cats movie from a couple years ago.
God.
Showman.
Ridiculously showman.
Showcat. Yeah.
I'm sick to my stomach.
Amelia Perez.
Showman. Oh my God.
I don't know, team. I wouldn't say this is showman. I would say it's its own secret third thing. A secret third thing that I don't wish to know more about.
I didn't watch the whole thing, but I saw the opening scene.
Me and Emma watched it together.
And every 2 minutes Carson goes completely earnestly, can we please turn this off? Can we please watch, like, can we please stop
And
watching
I'm
this?
normally not like that. Like, I normally, like, I will watch a whole movie even if it's bad. Like, I'm not going to turn off a movie halfway through. But every 2 minutes, I was turning to Emma and saying, please, can we turn this off?
I didn't make it through the first scene.
Amelia Perez is not showman. It is bad devised theater that your college program does. Like, and it's so like black box. Boom.
Yeah.
Boom. Like, yeah, no.
Okay, the Muppet movie.
Showman. It's like its own thing though. Like
Yeah.
Muppets is like self-aware.
Yeah.
And it's like
I don't think
camp.
it's Showman. I
I
don't
would say
think
not
it is.
Showman.
Yeah,
I don't think
I
it's
would
Showman.
agree.
It has a little bit of that like scrappy, rough around the edgesness that Showman cannot dare to achieve.
And it
Yeah.
pokes fun at itself. It's self-aware
meta.
that it's over the top. Yeah.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Showman.
Never saw it. Never saw
Showman.
it.
I never saw it. You think it's Showman, Emma?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because it's also glossing over flaws, glossing over it's that glossy lip gloss sheen.
Yep.
Sheen.
Sticky
That's
lips.
it's Planet Sheen. Okay.
In the Heights.
Showman.
.com.
Okay, Cinderella with Camila Cabello.
Did not see.
Showman. I've only
Showman.
seen one number, and it's the Idina Menzel Material Girl.
What?
Oh yes. Idina Menzel with her daughters, the stepsisters. She sings Material Girl. Hell, I am a material girl. She sounds kind of good, but that's another.
Okay, and then this is,
Just
I don't know if you guys
stomach
saw it, so we'll start with Enchanted.
Oh, no.
Not
it's
Showman.
Showman, it's a different thing.
Yeah, because again,
It was the same role as Muppets to me, yeah.
It's self-aware, and there's humanity. There's some humanity.
Then the sequel, Disenchanted.
Showman.
See that? I
Enchanted.
think is Showman, and I think it's because it came after. I think it's because
Yeah.
it came after the Greatest Showman, and so then
You've been infected
saw
with the
it.
Showman virus.
you've been
Yes.
infected with the Showman virus.
The Showman pandemic.
Yeah. So
Showman 19. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Showman 17.
Showman 17.
So yeah, I mean, in the end, like, what do y'all think? What are your takeaways from this conversation?
I feel like enlightened. Like I feel like I've not actually had. We've talked a little bit about this off pod, but to actually go through and like really decipher, for me, it just comes up to the humanity in the fucking dance sequences. Because why are we popping and locking if we're not supposed to be? For real though, that sort of is like what separates, I think, the Showman-esque quality versus the not Showman-esque quality.
Yeah. I think, in my humble opinion, I think as a standalone, it's a fun film. Again, I've said this before. Coming from a Showman, I think that this movie is fun. I enjoy watching it. It is it's a fun group watch. And I don't like what it has done to movie musicals.
Agree.
I enjoy it as its own thing, and again, it's like a half ironic enjoyment, like, because it is just so redonkulous. But I would say like the negative impacts of this film on movie musicals I would say outweigh. Would I prefer to live in a world in which Greatest Showman was not Greatest Showman? Perhaps yes. That's what I'll say.
I agree with you. I think, though, just because of hyper-consumerism, everything that's happened,
we were bound to get a Showman.
it was bound to happen. If it wasn't The Greatest Showman, it would have been something else. And I think it speaks to a larger problem with media and film and TV shows, just in general, that, that when something becomes focused. And this is the first time anyone has ever said this. Like when somebody is focusing on selling something instead of being artistic, it's not as good. And I don't think that's like a new crazy opinion. I also think that that's kind of a crazy take because of, it's ironic, I guess, because of just like P.T. Barnum in general, who made a living off of doing that, And so I think
feels like somebody's trying to sell me something.
Right. And so I think it's just
SpongeBob.
SpongeBob. Important.
SpongeBob
reference. Yeah, no, I agree. I completely agree. I think that it's one of those things where, like, this film and like many other films, you can enjoy, like, and it also is the same. I mean, there's a lot to be said about Marvel films, about like critiquing Marvel films and sort of the military industrial propaganda behind it all. But you can still, like, any piece of art, quote, or media, quote, like, can be enjoyed and critiqued. Like, this is also sort of circling back to what we were talking about at the top, where people think, like, on the whole, that audiences are stupid and are incapable of holding, like, a nuanced opinion, or, like, thinking two things can be true at once. The Greatest Showman can be a problematic piece of media, or could have had potentially negative impacts on, like, musical theater films and stuff in general, but it also can be enjoyable and fun, and also, like, the actors, could have, gave good performances, or like, I like the artistic value that went into it. Like, I have to again, give like big ups to the whoever the choreographer is. I don't know their name, unfortunately. I have to look it up. But the choreographer, I mean, did their big one. Like the cast did a great job. The costume design is fierce. Like the art team behind it did a very good job. However, the sort of business side of things and sort of the writing side of things leave a lot to be desired in terms of the execution and the sensitivity with which everything was handled.
And in
Ashley
hindsight,
Wallen, big ups to Ashley Wallen, the choreographer.
Huge
Big
ups to
ups.
Ashley Wallen.
Guys,
Thank you for this app, everybody. Thank you for taking
think-
a trip along The Greatest Showman. I've had such a pleasure revisiting and discussing the historical implications of The Greatest Showman. Yeah, it's been fun.
and
Of
I think
course.
screenwriter Jenny Bix has done it again.
Thank you, Jenny. Big ups to Jenny.
Barnum is going to Paris.
Oh my God. Well, Carson, thank you so much. Now.
Should we?
Should we what? Should we
I think
what?
it's time. I think it's time that we kind of when we talk about the things that we are obsessed with this week. So
Can I go first?
Of course.
yeah.
I saw. I went to the movies alone on Monday, and
Oh
I
my God, that's right. I forgot.
saw Hamnet. And guys, you gotta go see Hamnet. I had a spiritual experience. Like, it was actually awesome. Fundamentally misunderstood one of the characters of the of the film. For some reason, I didn't watch like a trailer. I didn't watch a trailer. I didn't really know what it was about at all. I just knew it was Hamnet, and I knew people liked it, and I went to go watch it.
Yeah, that's right.
And I didn't know that Paul Mescal was William Shakespeare. I didn't know he was playing that part. I thought he was playing like a director of Shakespeare, like in the Renaissance.
I thought he was playing a guy who was writing and was doing
Who thought
plays
he
that
was
were Shakespeare and
writing
was
about, like,
directing the
Hamlet?
Shakespeare, but I didn't think it was Shakespeare.
So yeah, I'm gonna see it again now with that knowledge. But that shows you how good of a movie it is if I can fundamentally misunderstand a big part of it and still think it was incredible. So yeah, go see Hamnet. It's awesome.
Love.
Connor?
Emma, how about you?
No, you go. I'm a guest. I'm a guest in your house. You go first.
Right now, I'm kind of just obsessed with the holiday spirit. I know that's such a cop out, but we hosted Christmas yesterday, and we had like 50 people in our teeny little house, and I saw like my bestie cousin who I haven't seen in like 3 years, and it was just like a really lovely day. So I'm just kind of filled with a little bit of holiday cheer. Emma, HBU.
Okay. So this might be a little bit like, you're boring as fuck. I'm sorry, low-key obsessed with hand cream.
Hey!
I love hand cream. I have like my whole life, but especially as I've gotten older, there is something about a dry hand on me. I'm never gonna be like, ooh, your hands are dry. But it makes me feel like fucking SpongeBob at the end of where they're like, well, it was great to when they're dying and they're on the heat lamp, and he's like, well, if it was for anything, that's how it makes me
reference.
feel. SpongeBob reference. But
SpongeBob Big Eye Pants, okay?
Oh, Christ. I'm gonna be sick. I have to go. Okay. Yeah, I just hate the feeling of having dry hands, and but this is, well, actually, I'll leave this for my thing I'm putting to bed, but I love collecting different little hand creams. I love trying all the different sort of formulas. I love the different scents. There's something about being in a place where you're having a conversation with somebody and they're talking to you, and you have that sort of 45-year-old woman teacher moment where you're like, oh my God, absolutely. And you're rubbing it on your hands oh, and she needs to talk to her about it. It's very it's Sex in the City to me. It's very oh yeah, of course. I mean, you guys need to have a conversation about that. I love creams. I love feeling moisturized and supple, and that's why I am obsessed with hand cream this week.
Love it.
So moving on to putting to bed.
Yes.
I'm putting to bed Vlogmas, guys. I'm putting to bed Vlogmas.
It's corny.
Call me a hater. It's corny. Boots.
It's corny.
It's content farm. It's commercialism. I'm not about it. Stop making. Also, I don't want to see. And we've talked about this on the pod. I don't want to see family vlogs. I don't want to see you extorting your kids.
I don't want to see your kids. Period.
I don't want to see
anywhere.
your kids. That's for you. Those things. Those are for you.
Those things, your kids. Those things, those are yours. I don't
Those are
want to see
yours.
them.
It also gives no one cares.
Also,
The
yeah, people
Vlogmas,
have their
no
own
one
kids.
cares.
I don't want to
And
watch your
like,
kids.
I don't care what
cares?
you got. It's like, I feel the same way about like these like Christmas hauls that people post. Like, I'm like, I don't want to see everything you got for Christmas.
I only
like,
ever want
I
to see
kinda
what
do
people got for
want to.
Christmas if it's like my friend, and like I don't want you to be like,
yes.
here's my video, like, but I love like a like, oh look at, like, I got these pair of shoes, or like, what did you get for, like, that's fun. Send
That's
your
totally
friends a
fun.
fucking little time lapse video of
Yes.
you holding shit up. 2 minutes max.
I love it. But like these people who are like, I have my Gucci, I got this, like, and it's just like, rich farming. Like, I'm just like, I don't want to.
Rich
Like,
farming.
I
Consumerism.
I don't care. Consumerism.
When
Final
those
boss
videos
is
come up on my feed, it makes me feel like you know, like a picture of Golden Freddy where he's like, like, and the arms are down his mouth. Like, it makes me feel like that. I'm just like, oh, the life
Golden
is being
Freddy.
fucking sucked out
It's
of
me. It's me.
They're my remnant.
This is
It's
me.
a me. So if you care to confide,
Connor, what about you?
Connor, what do you?
This week I'm putting to bed. Guys, I'm working the next 7 days in a row. What?
No.
What, the Christmas?
What?
What, the
I've literally
spruce?
I've had
What, the
Tuesdays
Christmas?
off. What the Christmas?
Excuse
I've
me.
had
What the
Tuesdays
Christmas?
off. I've had
So you didn't
Tuesdays
even have
off
New Year's
since I
off?
started. No, we're gonna double on New
gotta be-
Year's.
You've got to be
no.
jolly kidding me.
No, we're gonna double on New Year's.
You've got to be elfin kidding me.
But I
the
think I
elf?
need. I don't know.
That sucks.
Yeah. That was a
Yeah.
nice little. That was a nice.
So you're
little
feeling
notification
especially
I got.
spirited, given what's coming. You got it,
You're
honey.
low-key Bob Cratchit
You
right
got
now.
a big storm coming.
Honey, you got a big story.
You're Bob Cratchit.
Low-key
You don't get
Bob.
the Christmas
Yeah, you're Bob.
bonus.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of also like I have nothing else to do, so it's not the worst thing in the world. But yeah, that's what I'm putting to bed.
Maybe you'll meet maybe this is like fate, and you'll meet like a hot frosty like Christmas person. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe your boss at the restaurant will like go on like a Scrooge like experience.
Yeah,
I
three
don't
ghosts.
know. I'm just like I'm crossing my fingers, I'm trying to get through this stretch, but
You
yeah.
will, but that does suck.
Your Ghost of Christmas future is harrowing. It's harrowing.
Honey, my ghost of Christmas present is harrowing.
But the future is just holding up like a toast, POS.
Oh my
A
god.
handheld.
And it's like,
Email he's holding like an email confirmation. Oh my god, like a DoorDash order. They won't even say hi to you. They just put the name out and they're like,
The
they're like
10%.
John
10% tip.
F.
Yeah.
Order for Melissa P. But yeah, that sucks.
Emma?
I'm praying for
Emma?
you. Well, what I'm putting to bed is that point when you put on the hand cream and it's too liquidy and your hands feel wet. I don't like that part. If this happens to me, I find it's less with hand cream, and when if I'm in the bathroom, I wash my hands. I'm at my own house and there's like that little, we have like a little, closet. There's like lotion in there. I go splumph and I like hit it, put on my hands.
Lump.
And maybe it's just because it's body lotion and it's meant to be put on your whole like wet body. But it's like makes me feel like it's like I just dunked my hands in water and I feel like I want to wipe my hands off. Like I need the moisturization, but I'm like, ooh, like it just makes me feel gross. Like I just stuck my hand in like a toilet. I don't like it. I prefer
sensory.
thicker cream. And I also just that minute and a half when it's like seeping into your skin. I hate that shit. Love the results. Love the little to go purse vibe. But then when the lotion is too lotion and you want to like wipe your hands on something, and if you're in public and you have to do it discreetly, it's like you're just like, where the fuck do I like put this?
So I can grab the doorknob. Yeah.
Where the fuck do I put this?
Don't even. Yeah.
Oh, honey.
Right.
Honey, you got a big storm coming.
You got a hand cream coming. So that part of hand cream I don't like. Putting that to bed.
Well, Emma, thank you so much for joining us. Of
course.
Yeah, these past 2
Are you
weeks
kidding
has
me?
been such a
I
delight.
wish you were
It's
here
been such a
every
delight.
week. It's not going to be the same without you.
Aww. Don't miss me too much.
We will.
But you'll be back. You'll be
will.
back at some point when we talk about
I will.
something.
When the time is right. If there's something that you feel I could really bring a level of
Yeah.
expertise to, then.
When the time is right. For
Probably
sure.
like something like stupid or like meme
Really?
related.
When we talk about Jenny Bix and Jeno topping. Jennifer.
Really? Seriously?
Guys,
Yeah,
are
we-
you guys serious
We
right
could
now?
You
Really?
guys freaking serious right now? Really, bro?
Guys,
What the-
really?
What the Jenny Bix?
What the elf?
What the Showman?
But,
So-
yeah.
Goodbye, guys. I hope you all enjoyed this episode. I hope you all
Goodbye,
enjoyed this
guys.
episode. Goodbye,
Please-
guys.
Please clap.
Have a great day. Please clap.
Please clap. We will see you next week for whatever we want to talk about.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, everybody.
Of course. Of course.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of He Said, He Said.
If you'd like to follow us, we are on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at He Said Podcast. You can find all of our other episodes wherever you listen to podcasts. This episode of He Said, He Said was hosted by Carson Timmons and Connor Mangan. All of our editing and production comes from Carson Timmons, and our music comes from Carson Timmons. See you next week.
Boom.
Boom.